Morning, everybody. So I have my bottoms out. I think it's the only way I can talk without totally not being able to enunciate anything. So I found all these reviews on DenSureFit. So I did one of the home reline it kits yesterday. I actually did two of them, and total fail on my part. Well, I won't say it was a fail on my part. What happened was the product was too thick, and no matter how thin I got it, it it was too much, and my bottom denture wouldn't seat well. So it was like this huge amount of product down in there, and I couldn't get it just thin enough to do what I needed to do. My dentures aren't super duper loose. They're just a tad loose. And so I could rather use adhesive, but I'd rather use something that's a little bit cushioning. So I ordered this DensureFit stuff online through their website, and I did the monthly plan. So it was $18 and some change to give it a shot. So they sent the normal 2 vials of silicone like this, 2 swabs like that, the primer that came in a little bubble wrap envelope, and then they actually sent an extra one with it. So that was kind of cool that they sent 3. I've watched a bunch of videos. Bill Westland, been amazing. It was really great to be able to watch that and get some tips on what to do with it. I'm still new to this, 3 weeks out today. But I need because they're Russell Klein, it's a little bit different than dentures made in a lab. The Caradent that he uses seems like they're a little bit sensitive to some of the stuff, so I've had to ask him and go through him to see what's appropriate, what's not, what's okay, and just to make sure that I'm doing it right and that I'm not putting my dentures in jeopardy. So they send a pretty good instruction. There's a lot of information on their website, which is really great. For me, I saw a lot of great reviews. Some people said it didn't work for them and that they didn't like it. The price is probably the biggest problem. It's around $50 for the box. That's why I did the monthly thing, because I wouldn't notice $18 coming out as much as I would $50. So I figured I would give it a shot. Their instructions are pretty clear of what to do. All the videos that I've watched and all the information that I've seen, the box says that it's for upper dentures, and that's what I wasn't sure about. So I talked to a couple of people, watched a bunch more videos, and it looks like it's the same thing for bottom dentures, so no big deal. I am dealing with some issues up on the top up here. My dentist left a tooth in. So they have me set for Saturday, which I'm still not comfortable with. I'm a little bit frustrated that I have to do this in the first place because a lot of planning went through, medication switches and stuff to get it done, to get all my extractions done. So I'm a little bit irked at this whole situation since I've done 2 sets of x-rays since the extractions and they still didn't catch it. They thought it was a bone spur. So I've been a little bit irritated with this dentist office for about a year, and I thought I was doing pretty good with them, and now come to find out they left a molar in. So anyway, I'm going to try this on my bottom denture. I cleaned it and I dried it, and so this is what they look like. This is the notch area that had to be extended because it wasn't in the right place just due to my jaw placement and space available, but they're super thin. They're the Caradent. You can almost see through them, and that's normal for that material. It looks like there's, it's actual gums. It's, kind of the color of the veins running through. It's pretty natural looking, which I really like. They're not too pink. They're not discolored. They, really blend in pretty well. So the teeth are pretty good. They are off center on me, and that's just due to the spacing in my mouth. Unfortunately, there's not much that we can do. But if you look at the back is built up a lot on one side. The trough is almost flat right there. And that's when I had some back teeth removed last year with the dentist that held me down. And then this side is not. So I've got a pretty big trough in there, and they're just kind of flopping around. So what I need is just a little bit of cushion in there to kind of keep them secure. They say not to use it if you have open extraction still. So that's what I'm not certain about. I've got a couple areas on the bottom that still have some open spots. So that's my only concern right now, if it's going to go in there and get stuck, or if it's just something I'm going to have to trim out, which I'm hoping that's the case. They'll just have to trim it out. So I've got a couple tools here that I'm going to use if that happens. Hopefully I don't need to cut this short and go to the emergency dentist. But I am healing up pretty good. Things are going pretty well in there, except for that tooth that is still up in my jaw. I'm still shocked about it. So I'm going to do this. Basically, you open the primer, which is this little bottle right here. It's a tiny fine liquid. I'm not exactly certain what it is, but it looks like methylene chloride. Yay. I'm going to shake it up a little bit, but it comes with these two little applicators here. They're like foam. The stuff in that Reline It kit yesterday smelled like a nail salon, and that just made me absolutely sick to my stomach. So it says to get it all the way soaked up, which I'm doing now. So it puffs up pretty good. And it says to just put it in there, get it all the way in. So that's what I'm doing. I'm making sure, oh yeah, and it stinks pretty good too. Why does all this stuff gotta smell bad? So it tells you to just give it a really good coating around the edge, everywhere that you want to put the silicone, which is fine. I'm just kind of getting, there's a lot of little nooks and crannies in there. So I'm trying to get it all so that I don't have any issues with having to do it again. I hate wasting product, but it looks like I've got it pretty good in there. And they tell you that once you open the syringes, it sets up in about 4 minutes, so you kind of have to be careful. I don't want a lot of this stuff in here. I just want a little bit. So I'm going to, there's basically two ingredients in there, and they mix in the tip right here. And if anybody's used epoxy at home, it's kind of the same situation where it mixes in the tip. That's what activates it when the two mix together. So it kind of tells you which way to twist it right here. Gosh, my hands look huge. They're not. I have girl hands. They're tiny. But anyway, so it tells you to twist it till it snaps. They want you to let this dry on here, which I have done. It's clear. There's no sticky residue in there. It just looks pretty normal. So I'm going to twist this till it snaps, just like that. So that's good. And then they tell you just kind of squirt it in there. Well, try to squirt it in there to do lines when you're doing your upper dentures. So for me, I'm gonna have to be a little bit strategic about how I do this. And mind you, this is the first time I've done it. I haven't opened this up and played with it. I haven't done anything with it. So this is my first time using it. But I'm just gonna squeeze it in the areas where I know that I need it a little bit. And I can see it coming down the tube right there. And I'm just gonna kind of put a little bit in there where I know the trough is kind of big. Just a tad. I'm going to try to avoid that little area that I know where that hole is. I, 'cause 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 So that's it. I didn't use very much at all. There's just a tiny bit in there, as you can tell. So that's it. If I turn this camera off, it's because something's going down, like drastically wrong in my mouth, and I need to run to the bathroom. So there's not a lot going on in there. It's pretty thin. Just gonna kind of touch it a little bit. Kind of wanted it to set up just a tad before I stuck it in my mouth, just because of that hole that I have issues with on the one side. So I'm kind of spreading it around with my finger just a little bit. This might be a bad thing to do. I don't really know. I'm hoping it just provides that little cushion that I want in there. I don't need like a big reline or anything. Just need it to be kind and gentle to my gums and make them happy. So I'm just kind of spreading it around a little bit. I don't know if this is a bad thing to do or not, but I guess we'll find out. Anyway, so it tells you once you're done with that, apply one applicator as needed. 3 skinny lines across the palate, and in the trough. Insert denture into mouth. Use thumb technique. Blah 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 blah. Pressure denture to your palate. Hold 4 minutes. So I'm gonna stick it in there. It doesn't burn or anything that I can tell. It doesn't taste weird. It kind of is tingling on my gums just a little bit. But I can feel it in there kind of squishing around, which is fine. It's not really doing anything bad in there. It seems like it's holding pretty good. I might try it on the top too. I don't know. It seems like it's going pretty well. It's holding them in place. I saw that one tooth over here that has that bigger gaping hole in it, and I'm worried that it's going to get in there and kind of mess things up. But it says to hold it for 4 minutes and kind of do the kissy technique. Kiss and smile thing. But I don't really... It doesn't have that really bad taste like the reline it thing. That stuff was like walking into a nail salon and getting blasted in the, in the face with acrylic dust. It was awful. And I think it works really great for some people. It's a really cheap alternative. For me, it didn't work. I didn't like it. It was just too bulky in my lower denture. I couldn't get the right fit in there. No matter how little I used, it was still too much, and they didn't seat right. So I could definitely feel that they were lifted, they had shifted. It just wasn't a good feeling, which was kind of gross. So anyway, I've got silicone on my hands now, but it seems like they're doing pretty well in there. It feels like they're cushioning pretty good, which makes me happy. I feel like it's lifted that spot over here that has been a constant issue with rubbing in the inside of my gums. It's not making a sore, it just kind of messes with things a little bit. So overall, I'm going to take it out here and then I'll post another video, but overall it seems pretty good. Hold on. Gross. So it's set up. There's a couple areas that obviously I need to trim where it oozed out a little bit, which is fine. I don't think it went into my tooth. There's a couple high spots where I have my extraction sites still that I need to trim. And I'm going to use a little tiny pair of scissors. It says use tiny scissors. Luckily I have some. Who doesn't love tiny sewing scissors? I'm going to use these to trim the little points off so that my extraction sites can still heal. I might try this on the top just to give me a little bit of extra cushion in there. It seems like this actually did the trick. If that's the case, I'm going to be a super duper happy camper because my lowers are kind of driving me crazy than they first did because my swelling's going down. So here's kind of what it looks like. It's really clear. There's not a lot going on in there. I don't know if you can see that or not, but there's just kind of a little sheen of silicone in there. And there's a couple little high spots you probably can't tell that I'm going to trim off so that my sites can heal up. But right now, I'm really happy with this stuff. It was worth the 18 bucks every 3 months, or every month for 3 months, and then they send you a new box. But I have 3 different applications of it. So I didn't use very much. After watching Bill's video, I can actually reuse it, which is really great. So I'm really happy. I'll post another video when I do the top and give this a little bit of time and see where I'm at with it. But for now, pretty happy with the application process of this DenSureFit. It was really a great recommendation so far. I'll give a final review once I figure out if I really like it or not, but the application process went great, so I'm happy at that part so far. Anyway, I'm going to do some maintenance and I'll come back later and we'll see where I'm at.